in the house and in the sauna right now. It is absurd. It is not good. Not good. Fox, what up? Dude! Fox, what's poppin', dude? You get the FRS yet? You get the BRZ? You get the goodness? You get the GT86 action? My dude? Dude, it's finally like starting to like somewhat cool down up here. It's been so much nicer, not like blazing hot. Plumber! Dude! What up? I'm not sure what I'm doing anymore. Fox, what does that mean? What are you getting? What's going on? Are you doing the whole VR6 thing? You doing the other thing? Eric, good evening, man. Dawn, we're just gonna go DWN on that one. Yo, what up, dude? Dawn. I guess it's Dawn. I guess for no way. What's going on, guys? I am so excited. The turbo flange has finally showed up for the EG33. It's with the fabricator. Cannot wait. I bought a new monitor for the PC. Nice. What monitor you get? Turbo flange is finally here. That took 3.5, 4 weeks to get the turbo flange up here. Just material, back order on everything. It's been taking so long to get anything up here, but we have it. It's a billet stainless steel, divided essentially twin scroll, turbo flange T4 for the setup, and we can finally get the turbo mounted this week. Woo! Stay cool, bro. Insane out there. It's not too. It's like in the 90s. I think it's like 95 right now. My brother got arrested. That's not a good thing. What did he get arrested for? Hopefully it's nothing like terrible. Zekai, what's going on, dude? Man, I'm about to buy an EG33 for my bug eye. So hyped. See, that's what I'm saying. Do it. Good luck. The only or like junk SVXs here and there. But if you tear it apart and you go to the extent that I go to, I mean, you can buy one in any condition. You're just going to be rebuilding it at that point anyways. But it's taken so long. The entire EG33 build has been on hold due to the fact that we've been waiting for this one flange to come in. Now that it's finally here, Kyle said he's going to start working on it this week, so I'm hyped. Man, do it, man. I'm all about it, man. Buy the EG33. I'm about the saving money thing. Also, work is moving me to new contract with travel. Ooh, where you going? Where you going, dude? Evening Tanner, trimmed up, looking sharp. Thank you. It's hot. It got like super hot with the beard. I just couldn't do it anymore. It's hot for me right now, 44 degrees. Is that Fahrenheit or Celsius? I'm a little bit jealous. I kind of wish it was 44 here. Derek, what's going on, dude? I'm about to go to bed, but I can finally say I made it to the stream. What's going on, Joseph? Hopefully you have a good evening, my friend. I'm pretty mint one for $600 or so. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I think I paid $1,000 for my EG33 long block. I definitely overpaid, but then again, I bought mine on eBay Motors. Blobeye is just started random. Wow, the heat. Hey man, my Blobeye just randomly lost low end power today. Still idles fine. Still builds boost. Any ideas? Thinking maybe up probably using power. Unless you're hearing like weird noises coming from the engine bay, then at that point you might want to do like a compression test or something along those lines. But if it just randomly lost power, boost leak test. You can check the exhaust tube for exhaust leaks. I would check pre-turbo. Like it would have to be a pretty big pre-turbo exhaust leak for it to be able to like mitigate that and make that happen. Hopefully you figure out what it is. Plumber, Tanner, Philly cheesesteak. Philly cheesesteak warrant. Ooh, that is not good. Modbug bit me again. Bought some wheels for my 20 WRX. What'd you get? What wheels? 2014 WRX, 80k miles, shifting from second to third, past 3k RPM, causes a grinding sound. Mods Cobb S short throw shifter and diff inserts. What do I do? 80k miles, shifting from second to third, or past 3k RPM, causes a grinding sound. Synchros would be my first guess. If it's like grinding, that would be my first guess. Is it lagging for you guys too? Hopefully it's not lagging too. If I'm going to 5G, hopefully that might make it a little bit better. If so, just let me know. Wolf, what's going on, dude? I got some Cosmos. Ooh. Lots of trips to Southern Carolina. But yeah, I kind of need to throw money into the Beagle to clean up for long trips. I don't blame you. Don't blame me at all. Finally got my AOS in. That top mount intercooler hose wrecked me. That's what I'm saying. Got the Grimspeed coupler set after destroying the OEM ones. Actually, I found that the OEM ones tend to work a little bit better depending on what the top mount is. Other ones, like the Grimspeed hoses, work pretty well for most applications out there. Lag. How laggy on a scale of 1 to 10? How laggy? Try off of the Wi-Fi. Just see if that makes a difference. Congrats on the EG Turbo. Hey, thanks, Omni. We're just waiting on that flange to come in at this point. Hopefully it comes in soon. 9? Okay, hold up. Let me try jumping off of Wi-Fi. A little bit better. It should. I would hope so. The Wi-Fi here should be. I still need to get. I need to get a node out here in the garage. You're breaking up, and it can get pixelated. Hopefully that fixed it. Hopefully that fixed it. It's so hot inside. Yo, way better. Perfect. It was the Wi-Fi. 10 out of 10. The Wi-Fi was just destroying us with lag. Then, that's good. That's good that we're off of that. Just picked up. Already way better. Perfect. Just picked up 26 front and 24 rear sway bars with Cartboy and links for my 2020 WRX. How worth it was for your STI? It was, I mean, I definitely noticed a difference going for, like, the main difference you're going to notice is a larger rear sway bar. You're going to fix a lot of the understeer that the car comes from with the factory. If you go with too big of a front sway bar and, like, a thicker rear sway bar, you might start to see a little bit of that understeer come back. Just don't go too big in the front. Just don't go too big in the front with the sway bar action. Better. So far, much better. Perfect. Good. Glad that the lag is starting to clear up then. But yeah, we also got in a lot of the other like flanges, brackets that we needed for the EG33. So I think Kyle's going to be working on it either Thursday or Friday. So I'm going to try to get back down to Fuse Fabrication this week to do another fabrication video. So that way we can just work through fabrication with the EG33 STI, bring it back up here, finish up wiring. Once we get wiring finished up on it, I think we can pretty much start the car. I think at that point we'll make an attempt at starting the car. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll try. I've been thinking about getting out of Subaru for now. Been eyeing this 6.7 Platinum. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with mixing it up and going to a different platform if you want something else. Like, by all means, like, there's plenty of times I've considered selling one of my Subarus or one of my cars for something else that I've wanted, and I've done it in the past. There's nothing wrong with that. I say if you want the 6.7, do it. Send it. Get it. Get it. It's missing flanges. No more flanges. Money Car Mod's last video was fire. I watched a little bit of that one, and then I think I fell asleep. I don't remember. It was late last night. How are you survived in the heat in the 05 with no AC? It's really like, it sucks not having AC, but it's not the end of the world. It's not that bad. Like, just not having AC, I just turn on the blower fan. I just put it to, like, fan only, and it kind of kicks out some air, but with all the windows down in here, it's not terrible. It's hot, but it's not terrible. You got to mix it up, keeping it interesting. So that's what I'm saying. You got to mix it up. Keep it interesting. Keep it interesting. I want to come down to NorCal and do something. Ah! Oh, my goodness. Woo! Totally dropped that. Okay, well, that totally disappeared. Want to come down to NorCal and put my Fortunato? No, I do not. I do not want to do that. That sounds hot down there. That sounds super hot. Best equal length header for 500 wheel horsepower. Those Killer B ones are expensive. The Tomeis aren't bad. I absolutely hate installing Tomei 3-bolt headers with up pipes. Just because the top bolt on it, it's a little bit of a pain. It's not the end of the world. But the Tomei ones, if you're looking at like an affordable header up pipe combo, by all means, Tomei 100%. I found out the roughness I was feeling wasn't the transmission. The crush washer was over tightened for the oil pan, and I was leaking oil. Oh, that could get bad over time. Thankfully, no damage. The car's running great now. Well, it's good to hear that the car's running great now. That would be absolutely terrible. Just leaking oil slowly. You have no idea. And then one day you just have no oil. But if it's leaking oil, at least you know it has oil. I'm not sure if you saw the monitor I am getting. Not a big deal. I did not see the actual monitor type. What was the monitor type? Besides driver error, what components cause synchro failure? I mean, driving hard is like the main thing of it. Over time, obviously, they're going to wear anyways just from driving the car. Poor fluid choices, things of that nature can also contribute to worn synchros, but the biggest thing is going to be driver connected to it. I'll still be here though. Love the channel. Hey, appreciate it, Ricky. If you do get the 6.7, let me know, dude. Let me know. LMAO phone. It's balancing on the steering wheel pretty well right now. Pretty well. Any special tools to replace spark plugs? No, the only tools you need to replace spark plugs are a 16 millimeter, a 3-inch extension, a ratcheting wrench, and a flathead screwdriver, and a 12 millimeter, just to take the coil packs off. But aside from that, there's no special tools needed. Then again, if it's your first time going into doing Subaru spark plugs, it can be a little bit frustrating, but for the most part, once you get it down, like, I can do spark plugs probably at this point 20 minutes. First time I did it, I want to say it took me a couple hours, but you get used to it after a while. And you like start picking up, you're like, all right, if I put the tool here, if I put it here, if I do this first, do that second, definitely makes things a lot easier for you. Well, that was a ride. I do apologize. looks like we all went on that ride. LOL, it's a melting oven over here. That sounds awful. It's finally starting. Yesterday was the worst. I think yesterday was like 113 degrees is what I got to up here. Not a fan. I'm doing a short block swap on my 06 WRX as well as bigger turbo injectors, intercooler TGVs. I'm replacing auxiliary and radiator hoses. What do you think? What do you think I should replace maintenance-wise? So you're already doing maintenance-wise, depending on the mileage, timing belt, if you don't mind doing it, water pump, pulleys, everything like that, if it is needed. Aside from that, spark plugs never hurt to do. Filters, in-cabin, oil, air filter, if you haven't changed that in a while. Anything that's a wear item, I would consider replacing. If you haven't done it already, just keep those in mind when you're going through. Be like, all right, that's a wear item, that's a wear item, that's a wear item. Kind of knock all those ones out. Also, if it's been a while since working up at the mod garage, I've seen a lot of WRXs and STIs come through with this like one service that has been completely neglected, and that's a brake flush and a clutch fluid flush dealio, the clutch master. The fluid gets gross after like 3 years, so if you haven't actually flushed that out, I would highly consider doing so, because if you pop off those caps and you look in there, you'll probably see some floating bits in there, or the fluid's going to go from like a clear yellow color and start to go to like a blackish grayish color. You want to try to keep it clear and yellow if you can. Just keep that in mind. That's one that I see neglected all the time. Is it worth it to spend the extra and get all AAM gauges instead of it? Yes and no. Do you remote mount your oil pressure sensor? So my oil pressure sensor is mounted above cylinder 3 where the turbo is. No, that's oil temperature. Oil temp is above cylinder 3. Oil pressure is where the stock oil pressure sensor goes. The stock oil pressure sensor I have right below the alternator. Personally, I like the Defi gauges and the AEM gauges. I would kind of stick with those two brands. Pro Sport and all those other ones I'm not a huge fan of, just because they can go like, it's hit or miss with them. Also, Nick, appreciate the dono, dude. We got Perry the Pear. Perry the Pear kicking in here. Blackhawk, what up, dude? I want all the torque. Don't we all want all the torque? Another 500 wheel horsepower question. Best clutch. Kind of depends on how much torque you're going to be making. The ACT HDSS is more than likely going to be my recommendation for that. That clutch is rated to about 550 foot-pounds of torque. But typically ACT kind of like goes on the lower end of torque values for all of their ratings and their clutches and everything like that. Realistically, you probably hold like 575, 600 on it without having too many issues. But for like 500 horsepower, I'm going to estimate that your torque's going to be around like 430 to 460, somewhere in that range. So the HDSS should be like totally fine for what you're doing. Also, Tack! Appreciate the dono, my friend. My face is back. It is. It was too hot. It was too hot for the beard the past couple days, so I had to cut it off. It was like sweating. You know the analogy. I guess I'm going with the AEM trio. Nothing wrong with AEM. I like AEM. I got AEM. I've used AEM's oil pressure. The only thing I don't like about AEM gauges, and it could just be me, every single AEM air fuel ratio gauge I ever get, the sensor always dies within like 48 hours of me using that original sensor. So normally I snag like a Bosch sensor off of Amazon just to use as a replacement. Just keep that in mind. Like that's the only thing I dislike about like some of those AEM ones. Change your power steering fluid. Also very true. Change your power steering fluid. That's another one that gets like gross because nobody ever thinks to change their power steering fluid. When I pulled the power steering fluid out of this car, when I put in that Chase Bays power steering system with the lines and the canister and everything like that, the power steering fluid that came out of there was nasty. It gets gross over time. How do you fix the rev overhang issue on a stock STI? Tune it. 100%. 100%. Yo, Devin Nima getting sponsored by Radium now. Why don't you get sponsored like him? Because I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, there's companies that I work with. I've worked with ACT. I've worked with Killer B. Fluid Amper. Race Quip. There's a lot of companies that I've worked with. It's just like finding companies that you do work with. It's a hit. I've talked to Mickey Thompson. I've talked to Precision Turbo. There's companies here and there. It just kind of, it's all about like timing with that kind of stuff right now. I don't know. But congrats to Devin. Mr. Nemala. If you ever see this, congrats on your sponsorship with or your partnership with Radium, dude. Watch some of the recent Humble Performance videos and their all-wheel drive Hondas and same power. I've never heard of them, but now I'm going to check them out, Doug. Dude, the bears grew stupid fast. The beard. Dude, my beard grows stupid fast. In a week, it'll be back to being like bushy and big. it's a blessing and a curse at the same time because, you know, it gets expensive buying razors all the time. Baja STI build, we need this. Find me a Baja that's not overpriced, and maybe we can make that happen. Dark Knowledge! Yo, bro, what's going on, man? Simplest way to get sponsored, not looking for one, just hopefully to get free parts. We'll talk about this for a minute. I've worked with, like, even before doing the YouTube thing, I had worked with companies prior. I was sponsored with a company called HPT Motorsports for 3 years for autocross driving when I lived down in central Louisiana. Now, if you're looking to get sponsored by a company, you have to keep something in mind. A, you're probably not going to get free parts. It's very rare that you do get free parts. Most of the time, you either get them at cost or you get them at whatever percentage discount they're offering you. If you're looking to get sponsored by a company, don't just, you need to have things done to your car too. They're not going to go out and sponsor a stock car. Your car has to be different. It has to gain like traction. People have to know the car. So don't go to companies with a stock car unless you're going to be like competing in specific races, specific events, or things like that, because then they will be more likely to sponsor you at that point. But most of the time, you're just going to get a discount. You have to remember that a partnership or a sponsorship it's something like you have to be able to provide the company something in return for them giving you a discount on parts or things like that. So if that's like social media coverage, if that's event coverage, if that's just getting people out, like their name out to the public, you got to keep that in mind that you have to have something to offer them. Years ago when I used to send emails out for companies to consider getting sponsored and things like that, I'd be like, hey, my social media presence is this. I go to these events these years. This is what's all done to the car. This is the car. This is what I'm planning on doing with the car. Here's some events that I've competed in. Here's like my placement for those events. Give as much information as you can. And also keep in mind that the worst the companies are going to say is no. They're never going to email you back and be like, wow, this dude's an idiot. He emailed us asking for free parts. Or don't ask him for free parts. Ask him for like at cost or discount. But that's typically going to be like covered in their sponsorship agreement if that's going to be something you're considering. Just keep it in mind. It's a partnership with a company that you have to be able to provide something for them since they're providing something for you. Like, it's very rare that you're actually going to get free parts from these companies. What's my skincare routine? I take a shower at night. I wake up. I brush my teeth. I don't know. I don't have a skincare routine. I just bought a 2009 STI with some hidden rust behind the side skirts. Ordered new side sills and having a body shop installed. $2,200 fix, $4,000 in suspension parts waiting to be installed. Sounds like you're going to have a lot of good suspension stuff going on the car. That sucks about the rust, though. There's always hidden rust on older cars, especially up north and like the Northeast where they salt the roads and like I don't want to say like Midwest, but like Michigan, Minnesota, those areas where they also salt the roads. Like, no, not a fan. Oil pressure, oil temp, AFR. I monitor my water temps on the Cobb access port. You know what's pretty interesting about the access port's water temp reading and a dedicated gauge reading depending on where you have the sensor. Normally you want the water temp sensor like near the thermostat area if you can. Who is that? Oh, it's a Grom. I kind of want a Grom. But the access port, it always reads lower than what my actual hardwired gauge reads, because I have the hardwired gauge. It goes to the upper coolant reservoir, but that's after it's passed through like everything else in the cooling system, because the coolant sensor is on the crossover pipe. So it's just interesting, like a dedicated gauge always reads higher from what I've seen depending on where you put it versus the access port. But for the most part, I do use the access port also. What downpipe would you recommend for a 2015 WRX with Remark midpipe and axle backs? Cobb, Grimspeed, any of the name brands out there. You got good fitment, good quality catalytic converters in those ones as well. It doesn't really matter. Whatever one is in stock is typically what I would go for. There's not a huge variance in like power gains between like downpipe to downpipe right now. Are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires good in the rain? Yes, that's what I have on this car. They feel great. They feel awesome. They're good. No, I have the all-season. I have the AS4s, not the 4S. I don't know. I've never used the Pilot Sport 4S. I have the Pilot Sport AS, all-season 4. Different tire. Best website to find used Subarus. OfferUp, Auto Trader, Facebook Marketplace. It's typically where I look. Or Google. I mean, you can go to like Car Track or something like that. You should be able to see them in my track videos. I will check it out. I'm still considering a bug eye if I go a different direction with the Beetle long term. Ooh, Fox. Get the bug eye, dude. Get the bug eye. Tanner built a rally car. I don't got any more room for cars right now. We need to expand. We need to get more room. We need to get more room before we get more cars. Yo, what I missed? David, what's going on, dude? For those who are just jumping in to give you guys an update, we did get the turbo flange in for the EG33. That is a component that we've been waiting on for 3.5, 4 weeks now. It's a billet stainless steel divided turbo flange. Super nice quality. We were waiting on that and a couple other smaller brackets. So this week we should be able to get the turbo put in place on the EG33 STI. Hopefully. That's the goal at least. Kyle said he's going to be working on it this week, which means that we can finish the header, because we couldn't finish the header until we add that flange in, because that's where we locate the turbo with. So that should be happening this week. Very excited for that, which means you guys get another fabrication video because it's been like 3 weeks. A shout out to HPT. I used to get a lot of stuff from them. Wish they were still around. Agreed. Unfortunately, they went out of business a couple of years ago. It's unfortunate that it happened. HPT was awesome when I did work with HPT. Super cool company. On Subaru's website, there is a teaser of the all-new 2022 WRX. I'm going to have to take a look at that after this. I need Subaru to release specs on this new WRX and STI that they've been so hyping up. I need to see these specs. Come on, Subaru. Kick them out there. Sponsorships are a business decision for the company. See, exactly. They expect revenue in return. There needs to be some type of return of investment for the business whenever it comes to any type of like sponsorship agreement. Oh, wow. I'm exploring how I'd build the Beetle rear wheel drive. We'll see. Do it. Do it. Tanner, you think you'll ever swoop a Focus RS or a Fiesta ST? 100% on the Focus RS. At some point in the future, I will get a Focus RS because that is a car that I've wanted for, well, since it came out, but the dealer markups on them and like the markups on them, like all in general. Yes, I would love to get one day, just not right now. Not super related, but who's waiting for the 6 manual transmission Supra? Only car I drive other than Subaru, to be honest. I would like one, but I don't like the fact that it's not a GR model. From what I heard, and I am not 100% true on this one, or I don't know 100% on this one, Toyota's putting a 4-cylinder with the manual transmission for that Supra instead of the 6-cylinder. I don't... Come on, just give us a 6-cylinder manual option. What is your general experience with owning an R32? Overpriced, expensive, difficult to get parts from, very fun, easy to work on, sounds great, all that stuff. In all honesty, I would get another R32. At the time, I sold my R32 so that way I could buy my old house. And then I ended up selling the house anyways when I decided to do YouTube, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when I had it. I would definitely consider getting another one. Oh, you shaved! I did! Yeah, dude, KJ, it was hot, dude. It was hot. You know it was hot. With a beard, it just like traps in heat and sweat, and it was awful. It was not enjoyable. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. Tanner, how long do you think the EG33 swap will behave handling, or how do I think the EG... I think it'll handle the power well. I think the drivetrain is going to be our biggest issue with that car when it does come time to do the full power pulls with it. Keep in mind, it's still a stock STI 6-speed in that car. Still stock axles. Still stock drive shaft. So we'll replace parts as they break. I'm not going to go ahead and overbuild the drivetrain on that car right now. All the mounts have been swapped out for aftermarket mounts. There's nothing OEM about the mounts, the bushings, anything like that in the drivetrain system anymore. But I do see the EG33 absolutely destroying the... I think in the order it's going to destroy things, I think it's going to be axles, drive shaft, transmission. I think that's going to be the order that car kills itself when it comes to drivetrain. And we'll fix it and we'll upgrade it as those things break, but I'm not going to pour money into it right now. The main goal for me is to get the car idling and running. I've been playing around with like Haltech's like documentational learning stuff on their program to try to like learn how to create a bass tune for the car, so that way when the time comes I can just make a bass tune in the garage, get it uploaded onto the car and get it idling. I don't know how well that bass tune will be, and I don't know if that's the car I should be practicing on or learning on like how to make bass tunes, but it doesn't seem all that difficult. I think the biggest thing, map scaling, MAF scaling, injector scaling, and we should be able to have it idling. Should. hopefully. But I think those are going to be the biggest like setbacks of that car is going to be the drivetrain. It's going to completely obliterate the transmission at some point. I already know it's going to. Once we turn that car up, we swap the turbo from that 6870 out of it and put a 7675 or whatever turbo we're going to be swapping into it. That car is going to shred the transmission. I already know it. It's going to be a great video. The data that comes, I can already picture the title. My 1100 wheel horsepower STI, flat six, whatever, ate its transmission or something like that. It'll be a great video. Speaking of Ford, how do you feel about the Maverick? I used to have a Maverick. When I was like 14, my grandpa got me a Maverick. I never got to drive it because we never got it running. But I had one at one point. I liked them. Saw you in my WX channel, Supra Revs. Yeah, dude. He was up at the mod garage picking up some parts when I was up there working on someone else's car. And he was like, you want to sit in it and rev it? I was like, kinda. He was like, you want to drive it? I was like, no, if I drive it, I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to go and buy one, and I can't afford one. It's not a good idea. Best aftermarket turbo back exhaust. What's the car? I mean, normally I'm just going to say Cobb because Cobb is like, you get good quality with it, good fitment, good sound. But there's also like Grimspeed if you're looking at catbacks. You have ETS, Nameless Performance. There's a ton of good options out there. Also really depends on what your budget is too. Gotta run for a meeting. Catch you later. Tell Matt and Melanie we say hi. I will, AJ. I will. Have fun in your meeting, man. Stay safe. The weather forecast is scary. And lots of us are thinking of you. Oh, appreciate it, Jeffrey. With no AC in the car. It's starting to cool down. Like, I'm used, like, 95 degrees and below, I'm totally fine. Whenever it's, like, 100 and above, I'm like, nope, no thank you, not doing it. Living in Louisiana for 4 years, I acclimated pretty well to, like, hot, humid weather. But whenever it's, like, 95, 100 and plus, I'm like, I'm not working out in the garage today. I'm literally going to turn into a puddle out there. Best tuner in Oregon depends on the car. If it's EJ based, by all means, I would take it down over to like Surgeline Tuning, let Chris work his magic on it because Chris is like a very good tuner. Chris is awesome with EJs. I've never had him tune into FA, so I can't speak too much on the FA side, but with EJs, Chris is a wizard. He's a pure wizard with it. But also you have PRE, English Racing. There's a lot of good tuning shops down there. Hey, Tanner, what's your thoughts on my 2016 WX1 E85 as a daily driver? Already tuned at 310 horsepower, 45. 100% do it. E85, you get much better knock control versus like 93 pump gas. With the E85, you don't have to make more power on E85. Because the fuel burns cooler, that benefits the engine by being able to reduce the amount of knock that it's saying and reducing the amount of pre-detonation or whatever you want to call it, that the car's seeing as well. So it's much more reliable, it's much more safe. Your fuel economy is going to go straight to the garbage, but it's still going to be better on an FA20 than it is on an EJ. I say do it. Smeedia hinting at start. I don't think I'm going to start tuning. That's like way out of my realm right now. I'm just talking about making base maps to be able to like start cars. Like that's my goal, is just to be able to make a base map from nothing, just to get the car started. Like Haltech makes it somewhat easy. The EG33 destroys my transmission. I can see that right there. It's hard. Perfect. Fox. I'm pinning that on my Pinterest. I don't have Pinterest, but I'm doing it anyway. Actually, I do have a Pinterest. Hey, Tanner, question for you. Legacy GT 2008 P0011 P0021. That is not a fun code. New AVCS gears, new oil control valves, new engine, new turbo. Still getting these codes. Any ideas? Matthew, I would go back in there. Make sure your timing is set properly. Make sure you didn't make this. I threw away that one cam gear. Make sure that your cam gear is aligned in the dowel properly. If it's not, then you're gonna have the same issue I'm having. Also, check mechanical timing. If mechanical timing is off, it's going to throw those codes as well. Last thing I'd say checking is check the hard lines for the AVCS. Make sure that those little banjo screens inside of those banjo bolts are not like clogged up. There's not like gunk in there or anything like that. Definitely consider going in there, like cleaning those out or removing the filters if you haven't already. I meant the new Ford Maverick truck. Oh, I have not seen that one. I have not seen that one. I don't go outside when it gets into the 80 temps. Can't breathe. Today the rain brought it down to the mid 70s though. Ooh, that's not bad. It's not bad. Don't go outside. Don't like stress yourself by going out there if you don't have to. Hey Tanner, I'm looking into a new camera to film my videos with. Ooh, always exciting. I always like camera questions. I was wondering what you use or you have any recommendations. Appreciate it, man. Keeping I started out making videos. I shoot with Canon. Some people shoot Sony. Some people shoot Canon. I'm all about Canon. I started out using the Canon M50. It's a very good like beginner camera if you're getting into like making videos or things like that. It's pretty reasonable in price. Even just the kit lens alone makes it pretty good. If you don't if you have a bigger budget, I shoot with the Canon EOS R. It's a mirrorless camera, has a lot of awesome features. I use the 15 to 35 RF lens, pretty much the only lens I ever use on that camera. I have a couple others, but I never touch them. But if you're looking at swapping it up, Canon M50, great budget camera to make videos with. If you're looking at like something higher end, Canon EOS R would be my suggestion. You don't need like the fancy R5 or R6. The EOS R totally fine. Tanner, don't act like Smeed tuned isn't catchy. I mean, it is catchy. I could go with that. I could do it. I'm down for it. I try to avoid it if I don't have to. I don't blame you. Have I ever thought of right-hand drive swapping one of the STIs? No. No. That's a lot of work, and there's not a whole point of doing it. Like, the only benefit is I'd sit on that side of the car versus this side of the car. And it's not, to me, it's not worth the work to sit on that side of the car versus this side of the car. Plus, it's annoying sitting on that side of the car, driving. Like, the biggest thing you have to get used to when going from a left-hand drive car to a right-hand drive car is the steering column. Everything else in the car is the same except for the blinkers and the windshield wipers, because those are swapped. So every time you go to turn, you hit the windshield wiper, and then you're trying to turn left and your windshield wipers are going all over the place, and then people just look at you because it's 90 degrees outside and they have absolutely no idea what you're doing, because it's not raining, you don't have any like fluid coming up on the windshield, and you just no. It's just not worth my time to swap a car from left-handed drive to right-hand drive. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. It's not worth it. The EOS R is what I'm thinking at too. It's great. It's a great camera. I love my EOS R. It's great for photo and video, both. What is your to-go transmission for your 17 STA when your current transmission says bye-bye? Should we just send it and do a dog box in the car and just make it like a sequential dog box or something? I don't know. I was probably just going to have the transmission built at that point. Depending on what budget looks like around the time that the transmission does decide to grenade itself and eat itself, will be what we really decide to do. Probably just going to do like a PPG gear set in the transmission, rebuild it, throw it back in the car, but if budget allows it, hey, I say we send it. Let's just, we've sent it with everything else on that car. We haven't cut a single shortcut. We actually haven't. Everything on the EG33 has been like top-notch quality. Why cut a shortcut at all on that car? We'll send it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. WD-40 is your friend for the exhaust hangers. Very true. If you are swapping exhaust and you have trouble getting an exhaust hanger off, by all means, spray like some PB Blaster, some WD-40, anything in there to lube it up a little bit, get some like oil moving around the hanger. Should just like slide right out. I totally agree about the windshield wiper and turn signals. See? I drove a Honda Asti? I don't even know what that is. In the Woodward Dream Cruise. Dude, for real! That is the one thing about my Skyline that got me every single time I got in the car, no matter how many times I'd go from driving my R32 over to my 2006, 2007 STI, I don't remember at the time, was the windshield wipers and the turn signals. It doesn't matter like how many times you get used to it. Like from car to car to car to car to car. I would go from the Skyline, get back in the Subaru. I'd think that my turn signals were the same in the Skyline. I'd go to hit it, windshield wipers. Every single, it was so dumb. A sequential dog box would be nuts. It would be nuts, but it would also be very expensive. Speaking of transmission stuff, I was looking into the fancy CAE shifter for the 05 STI today. I don't know why. I've never had one, but like there's a lot of good reviews about the CAE shifter. I don't know. I've been contemplating that one. I don't need it. I want it, but I don't need it. I finally put a lip on the car too today. I got honey-dicked by FedEx again though, so still waiting on the rest of that order to come in. Would you rather have a R32 or an STI? 100% R32. It doesn't even have to be a GTR. I would take another GTST any day of the week. I actually would prefer the GTST. I like the RB20. Smooth sounding engine. So smooth sounding. If you ever want to collaborate with me or video, I would be more than happy to. You inspire me to do better on YouTube. Wish I had the motivation like you do. You just gotta get out there. Like, you just gotta like force yourself to do it. Like, you gotta be super motivated to like make YouTube videos and do YouTube, because like you're like, you gotta just be driven. If you're not driven, like, I keep trying to get Matt to like, Matt, if you're watching this, I keep trying to get Matt to shoot videos and edit him. Like, in his defense, he went to edit last night and his editing room was like 150 degrees and it smelled like a swamp just because of like the humidity. So I'll give him credit there, but you just got to do it. You just got to get out there and make some videos. Both are nuts. I want one much more attainable than the other. True. Honda Asti. I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Is one of those mini trucks. They're really fun. Ooh. Acti. Jesus, dude, I don't know why I'm struggling with that one. I would like another GTR. I wouldn't mind a GTR. I've driven a couple. I've driven R35. I've driven R32. Never driven R33 or R34. But then again, I think R34s are overrated and R33s remind me of boats. Everyone loves R33s. I just don't like R33s. Personal preference on that one. Uh, Spec B checking in from the last video. Hey, Spec Bs are just undercover STIs or undercover WRXs, whatever one you'd prefer. They're great cars. I love Spec Bs. Think you'll ever pick up a GC chassis? No, probably not, because everybody wants way too much money for a GC chassis, and I'm not willing to pay $8,000 for your rusted out coupe that has 350,000 miles on it, and that's every single GC chassis up here. It's just not, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's even shells, like even ones with no transmission, no engine, which is probably one that I would scoop up, like $5K. I'm not doing it. I'm not paying that much for a GC. Central air for the win. Just rubbing it in. Just put Advan R6 on my Hyper Blue STI. Very good wheels. Very good wheels. 22B or R32? R32. What would I do with a 22B? Everyone loves the 22B. It's a cool car. It's an awesome car. But what am I going to do with a 22B? If I drive it, it's just going to absolutely demolish itself in value. If I modify it, the entire internet would get mad at me. Everyone else would get mad at me. I'd be like, meh. I don't know. Like, they're cool cars. 22Bs are awesome cars. I just wouldn't get one. There's no point. You should rate viewers' cars. I'll tell you what. I'll do a video on that tonight and I'll upload it tomorrow for you guys. I'll go through the Discord. I'll pick some cars out. We'll review some cars. We'll review your guys' cars. It's been a while. So you know what? I'll do that tonight. I was going to skip upload day tomorrow because FedEx kind of boned me out of the rest of the package for the video I was shooting today. So you know what? I'll do that. I'll give you guys a subscribers garage tomorrow. Or should we live stream it? Should I record it and upload it or live stream it tomorrow? I'll let you guys pick on that one. Whatever you guys pick, we'll do. I've never met someone that likes an R33. Matt loves R33s. Don't understand it. Matt loves them. If I wanted a boat, I'd go buy a boat. I'm just joking. They're not boats, but it's just a joke. Just a joke. Maybe. I bought my GC for $1,400. It's a sedan, but they're available cheap. None of them up here are available. Doug, where you live? Where you live? What part of the country, man? I'm buying one down there and ship it up here. I like the R33 LMAO. Never driven one, though. No, I haven't driven the R33. Have I? No. I don't think I have. I know I've driven 35, 32. Only because I used to have 32, but I don't count that. I was looking specifically for a WRX with a blown motor today on Marketplace and OfferUp and could not find one, oddly enough. That is actually surprising because a lot of the ones that I see on Marketplace are like, hey, blown engine, don't know how to replace it, don't have the money to replace it, selling the car. They're out there. You can get them pretty cheap. I think the cheapest one I saw was like $1,500. It was like an 07 WRX. Don't get me wrong, body needed some love, but I mean, you can get them pretty cheap. 22B over GTR all day, though. But why? What are you going to do with the 22B? What would you do with it? Let me clarify, actually. 22B or GTR, but you can't sell either car. R32 GTR to be specific. 22B or R32 GTR. You can't sell either car, but you can have one. Which one are you picking and why? Hi, you gonna make new merch? I need to. I've been so bad about it. I'm so sorry. Yes, I'll make new merch. What is it still June? I think it's still June. I'll get some new merch made. I'll post some up for sale, and then I'll do like a pre-sale at Big Northwest, and I'll bring some with me for anyone who's at Big Northwest. What's the Discord? I will link the Discord in the comments section and the description of this video after it goes live. So that way, if you guys want to add them in there, you can. Great idea. Live stream. All right. Looks like we'll do it as a live stream then. 09 Spec B, 1 of 13, if you're interested. That is somebody who's looking for a Spec B. Snag, jump on that thing. Isn't the R33 just basically an improved R32? I mean, isn't that what they all are? R32, R33 is just an improved R32, R34 is just an improved R33, R35 is an entirely new car, but I'm pretty sure it's revisions. Detroit, see, man, you get them cheap up there. How do you feel about the Datsun 510s? The little trucks? Those are little trucks, right? If it's a little truck, or am I thinking of a Sunny? I might be thinking of a Sunny. Either way, if it's the little truck guy, love them. Absolutely love them. It's a Copart donation car. I've still been looking on Copart. Still haven't found anything cool yet. Nothing cool yet. You should probably have emails with cars in from last year before you got the disc. I still do, I think. We'll jump back and forth between them. Which fuel pump should I go with for my WRX to run ethanol, my 15 plus? Just get an AEM 340 liter. Solid fuel pumps. I have one right there, actually. Just get one of these little AEM fuel pump. These things are awesome for E85 and pump gas. I forgot that I've just been chilling on the bench over there. Chilling on the bench. Wow, dude, that filter actually caught some shmoo in there. I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but there's actually like shmoo that got caught in the filter. What is that? What were you catching? What's in my fuel tank? I don't have a fuel filter right now. I should probably get that. Actually, I think it gets dropped off tomorrow. I don't want this in the car because that smells like gas. It smells like poop gas. Poop gas. You said you had a Radium AOS. Did you get boost issues? I didn't get boost issues with the Radium AOS. I just didn't like how it was ran. The way they want you to run the coolant lines in that AOS, they have you pull it from the throttle body instead of the upper coolant reservoir and the turbo. I just didn't like it. The one I like about the IAG is that the coolant lines are integrated outside of the housing of the AOS, so the coolant never goes around the oil. With the Radium one, I'm not quite sure where the coolant went inside of there. I took a peek in there. I couldn't see anything. But I just didn't like the hose routing, didn't like the design of it. It's a really good AOS, just not my cup of tea on that one. Have you replaced your turbo drain in the EJ? And if so, how much did you hate installing a conversion kit for it? The turbo drain, I've never had to replace one. I mean, sometimes when the gaskets start to leak over time, you may have to replace it, but I've never had to replace one. If I was replacing one, I would take the entire turbo out. Just take the whole turbo out. Matt and I tried to replace the turbo drain hose with the turbo in before. Awful. Would not recommend it. It would have been quicker to just take the turbo out. I'm going to cherish the 22B, but if I'm never selling either 22B all day, if I wanted to sell them 22B, they're worth a stupid amount. How about a 22B wide body or non-22B? The 22Bs are wide body. I mean, there's OEM wide body. I'd probably take the non-22B, to be honest, because knowing me, I'm just going to modify it anyways. I'd probably swap it, but put a 207 or something in it. Sheesh, what's good? I fell asleep. What up, CDO5, or what up, CD5? What's going on, dude? Imagine making a 1,000 horsepower 22B. If you put wings on it, you could probably take off and fly. It's a little 2-door or 4-door boxy boy, the 510. I mean, I like Datsuns in general. Imagine having a 22B, LOL. I mean, I can imagine having one, but knowing me, I'd just go ham with it. Shmoo analysis video tomorrow. We're doing a shmoo analysis? Give me some shmoo, I'll analyze it. Spiders in the fuel. If those are spiders, man, they're tiny. I don't think spiders would survive in the fuel tank. I know there's an animal that can or a bug that can survive in fuel, I'm pretty sure. Collaboration with my WX channel and Bader would be pretty dope. Have you ever talked to them before? I talk to JR all the time at my WX channel. Well, not all the time. I'd say like probably once a week or two. My WX channel, JR and I talk. I haven't talked to Bader in a while. Last time I talked to him was April, I think. I'm pretty sure it was April. We thought we had beef with each other. We got no beef. We cool. Josh is a super awesome dude. At some point, Josh and I did talk about like doing something in the future. It's just he lives on literally the opposite side of the state, on the other side of the mountains. JR is like an hour and a half from me or so. Both super cool dudes. At some point in the future, I'd love to be able to do something like both of them. Smeedia, you the man. I appreciate it, friend. R32 GTR, because I would feel bad ruining a 22B with the value of it. Plus RB26 more. See, that's what I'm saying. I would completely ruin a 22B because I can't leave anything stock. And I'd be like, well, it's still a 22B. I can still modify it and do this. And I would. Like, there's no hiding it. Like, I totally would. What did you do to the 17 STI engine? Any plans for that motor? The 17 STI is at fabrication right now. The thumbnail of this video is the turbo flange that we've been waiting on for 3 to 4 weeks at this point. I pulled the EJ out of that car almost a year ago, September. In September, it'll be a year since that car's been down. But it's over at fabrication. We put a 6-cylinder in it from a 1995 SVX. It's fully closed decked, half-inch head studs, cams, valves, valve springs, absolutely everything the car should make on the first iteration of power poles with the Precision 6870 in there. Probably should make around 950 wheel horsepower. Once we swap that turbo out, it should be closer to around 1150, 1200-ish, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I still have it. Just down at fabrication. Hopefully we get it back here soon. How are you managing the human heat soak? You know, it's not too bad out in the garage, which is why I'm doing the live stream out here versus in the office, because the office is like 200 degrees right now and I just don't want to sit in there. But you know what? Like rags. We would take like wet rags, throw them in the freezer, and just like wear them as hats. Should I convert my IAG V3 Street Series AOS to a competition again with that 500 wheel horsepower goal? I mean, I would suggest so. Competition series. I've noticed that the car runs a little bit cleaner, if you will. Not necessarily like what I mean by that is like I saw a little bit of reduced knock values, a little bit of reduced feedback knock. I can definitely smell everything that comes out of that competition series. But from what I've seen, the car liked the competition series a little bit more than the street series. My neighbor has a 240Z Jealous sitting in his yard just rotting away. Save it! Save it! I've seen it sitting there for 3 years. It's been there for almost 10, according to another neighbor. Want to buy it? Go buy it. Go save it. Those cars are bad. So with 240s, 280s, and 280ZXs, those things rust. They rust quick, especially around the battery. When I had my 280ZX, there was so much rust in that car. The entire floor was rotted out. Entire firewall was rotting where the battery was. Battery tray had rotted out. They're just so prone to rust. It's bad. Like, I have not seen a mint one that's just been sitting probably ever. Like, people, all the ones I've seen people had to go through, cut metal sections out, re-weld stuff in. It's sad. It's sad because I love those cars. Planning on putting an EGT sensor in my Tomei uppipe. Bad idea. Better location recommendation. I mean, you can put it anywhere if you're looking at it. Why are you throwing in an EGT sensor? I didn't even know people still use EGT sensors unless they're doing like extreme data collection or they really want to monitor EGTs. Most people I see delete EGTs out of like the Legacies, the Outbacks, all those older models that came with the 2.5. But yeah, I mean, that's totally a fine spot if you do want to monitor it. Yo, Tanner, there's a theory going around that streaming the same channel you upload on actually hurts the exposure of your videos after streaming. Always wondered why channels grow but streams not really. There's a theory going around that streaming the same channel you upload on actually hurts the exposure of your videos. I've never heard that. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I mean, I'm still going to continue to stream and upload videos on the same channel because I just don't want to do it on two channels. I don't know why that would hurt the exposure because YouTube likes it when you pump out more videos, whether it's a live stream or an upload. I don't see how an algorithm would work against you on that one. If they did, that would be really weird though. Are there any turbo kits you recommend for turboing a 350Z? When I had my 350Z, I remember the ones that really came to mind. Stillin, I think Stillin made the supercharger though. Rotex also supercharger. Turbo kits, off the top of my head, I don't remember. I remember I used to get all my parts from Concept Z Performance. I would hop on their website, see what they offer, kind of cross-reference with a couple other websites, see what you can find. That's what I only remember the superchargers for some reason. Will we see a Toyota on the channel? If so, what would you do? We've already had a Toyota on the channel. We had the BRZ. That was like 60% Toyota. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'd love to get a Toyota. If I got a Toyota, though, I would love to have a Tacoma. I wanted a Tacoma for like a really long time. A 4Runner, like an old 4Runner. I've never really been an MR2 fan. Toyotas. I don't want a Supra because they're way too expensive, overhyped. I'd like a newer Supra, but I don't know. I don't know. If I got a Toyota, to be honest, I think it'd be like a Tacoma. Steady sweating with it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's hot. It's hot. We're all sweating together. That's what I'm saying. Owning a 22B would be a dream. 150K car. Sign me up for one. I'd rather have a GT or an R32 GTR V spec though. See, that's what I'm saying. Phalanges every time. 22B or S209. To be honest, I don't really want either. I guess the 22B because I like the older models more. And what would I do with an S209? Like, my 05 is faster than an S209. My 17 will be, what, 3.5, 4 times faster than an S209? I don't know. I always felt like the S209 was overhyped. It's a great car. I don't think it's worth the dealer markup and the money that people have put on them. I think I saw an S209 on Facebook Marketplace the other day for $145,000. Never in a million years. I would never pay more than like $50K for a Subaru. I couldn't do it. I couldn't not bring myself to spend more than like $50,000 max on a Subaru, and it would have to be like a very special Subaru to like even get me to spend that much. Normally, all the Subarus I buy are like sub $20,000, with the exception of the 17 STI, which I bought. I'm the second owner on that car, but I bought it with like 5,000 miles on it. That's like the only exception. I think I paid like 40 for that car because at the time I like sold my other cars. I was like, I just want something nice, fun to daily drive that I'm not going to modify, and that completely went out the window. And I have gone way too far with that 17 STI to say I wasn't going to modify it. That was a terrible thing to say at the time. Boris Driver has a white S209 with 8 miles on it, going for 150K. See, that's on a Porsche dealer. So I'm saying there's so many other cars I'd rather have for $150,000. There's no way. I just wouldn't do it. I would never spend that much money. Never. I wouldn't do it. Top 6 gauges you would put into a 2007 WRX. I don't think you need 6. You need 6 for. Honestly, you really only need 3, and that's oil pressure, air fuel ratio, boost. Anything past that, it's kind of like an extra bonus gauge. Like I have oil temp and water temp in here just because I needed to fill 2 slots on my Defi ATI gauge cluster. But I personally, I don't see a need for 6. What do you need 6 for? What 6 are you throwing in there? Would I ever get an Evo? 100% yes. As long as it's not an Evo 10, because I absolutely hate the interior on the Evo 10. If I were to get an Evo, it'd have to be an 8 or a 9. I was supposed to get an Evo instead of this 05 STI, but I couldn't find any at the time that anyone would like work with me on price on. They all wanted like $25,000 to $35,000 for a 2003 Evo 8 with 110,000 miles on it. I'd love to have one. One day, if prices ever go down, I'd snag one in a heartbeat, but no. I mean, yes, I'd love an Evo, just not right now. When the prices come down. If I had the money, I'd have a Subi collection, especially try to get a McRae World Rallycross Impreza or Legacy if possible. I bet you those would be like stupid expensive. Gonna eat and watch a show with my girl. Peace out, Tanner and chat. Hey, enjoy the food, Doug. What you got? If it wasn't already asked, dream JDM car. Dream JDM car would be an FDRX7. 100%, hands down. If I could have literally any JDM car, it would be an RX-7. I like RX-7s, love rotaries. I had the opportunity to get one years ago, and for some reason I stupidly said no. Somebody wanted to trade me their 93 FD RX-7 for my 07 STI, and at the time I was like, no, I'm keeping my Subaru, I'm keeping it. I kicked myself for that. I should have taken that FD. I should have taken it. 6 gauge question, just need to fill the spots. If you're just looking to fill the spots, air fuel ratio, boost, water temp, oil pressure. I can't even think of a 6th one. Like I can't even think of one. Goldfish and chips and salsa. Haven't decided LMAO. I don't play. Hey, those are good snacks though. Good snack foods. What specs are the D9Rs? I don't have the D9Rs anymore, but those were 18 by 9.5 plus 38. Keep in mind that if you're running the 4-pop Brimbos, you are going to need at least an 11mm spacer in the front to clear the brakes. Otherwise, the face of the wheel just ends up hitting them. Lives like the it'll affect average watch time. Most dual use channels put their live streams in a list and make the actual video only viewable via link. The list is still viewable, but doesn't recommend the lives like other videos. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have to do that. I have no idea. Maybe I'll look into that a little bit more. I'm not actually sure on that one. Now I gotta do research on this. Now you got me thinking, Fox. Now I gotta dig into this more. Any muscle car builds in the future or just for fun? I would love. I actually really like the new S550 Mustangs. I really like the newer Camaros. What are the 2-door Dodges? The Challenger is 2-door. The Charger's 4-door. The Challenger is the one I like with 2 doors. I like the wider body version ones, but honestly, if I could, an S550 Mustang would be something that I'd love to get a 5.0. I have no idea. I've never actually worked on a V8 before. I've done inline 6, I've done V6, I've done flat 4, I've done inline 4, but I've never done a V8. I've never done a V8. We should do a V8. I've never done a V8. Let's do a V8. My buddy got an FC Turbo from an old lady with only 2,700 miles, with 70K miles on it. Had it maybe 6 months, and hydroplaned it. Ooh. All right, IAG 900 block or Alpha Stage 4 closed deck. Alpha 100%. I'm going to say Alpha every single time. Fuel pressure. We're just saying fuel pressure. Just heard about the theory the other day from a gaming YouTuber who's been on here forever at 1 million subs, and they're going as far as switching their live streams to second channel. All right, I'm gonna look into this then. I'm gonna look into it. If I have to make a second channel for live streams, then by golly, I'll do so. I'm gonna. Is that like how? I don't know. YouTube always mixes things up. They always mix it up. I'm gonna look into it tonight. If we need to, I'll make a second channel and I'll put all the live streams on that channel. I don't know why YouTube would do that though. Like, yeah, it might affect average watch time, but I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm panicking. I set my new record for oil temp the other day, 111 Celsius, driving through the heat. You can feel it. What is that? So 100 degrees Celsius is 212 Fahrenheit. What is that, like 245, 250-ish, something along those lines? What do you think about methanol injection in a Subaru No Access to Corn? Very good option. Just have some sort of fail-safe in the system so that way if you ever run out of meth, you don't blow up your engine because it's the last thing anyone wants. Challenger 2-door and Chargers 4-door. The Challenger. Actually, I really like the 4 doors, but I like the 2 doors too. I like them both. He likes boat anchors. Who doesn't like boats? Who doesn't like boat anchors? MR2 is where it's at, specifically the SW20. A second channel will mess up paid subs a little bit. That is also true. That is also true. Can I do live streams on the Discord? Is that a thing? Could I move live streams to the Discord? I think I could. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out. That's like 15 years ago, E85. What's done to the Outback that's always in the driveway in the videos? That one has a semi-built closed block. Why am I stepping on the brakes? I'm going to kill my battery. Semi-closed deck built block. I have no idea. It's got forged internals, semi-built heads. It's got valve springs, retainers, stock cams, Blausch 1.5 XTR. Car makes about 400 horsepower. It's a built 5 EAT in the car also. It's Matt's Outback. It's a fun Outback. If you want, check out Matt's channel. I think he has like a breakdown of the Outback. If not, I'll hassle Matt to actually do some more videos on it. Picked up my AMS intake manifold. When do we get an install video? When the new engine comes in. We have our AMS intake manifold right there, sitting on the shelf, ready to go. What are your thoughts on BC cams? That's what I use. I got BC 272s in my car. I absolutely love them. The BC, I haven't had any issues with them. It's a little bit of a pain. Make sure you get your lash spot on. Brian Crower can give you a range. There's like 2 measurements I found for BC cams. I was emailing Brian Crower a while ago when I was doing the lash measurements on mine. Annoying to set lash on them, but very good cams. I like them. I was also wondering the same about oil temps. I have a 2017 with an FA20. Stays between 209 217. I don't know the average range for oil temps on FA20s, unfortunately. Yes, you can do live streams on Discord. Maybe we do live streams on Discord. Maybe we move them to Discord then. That would be interesting. Just warn Damo if you move to Discord. I'll do some research tonight. I'll dig into it a little bit more tonight. I always get the new videos and live streams on my YouTube feed. Even when I miss a live stream, it shows up later on the feed. Hey, see, that's what I'm saying. YouTube doing its job. That's what I'm saying. Putting in a DOM 1.5 should net me 480 wheel horsepower on E. I would think so. What's the 1.5 XTR rated to? You can also do other things on Discord. I've been so busy the past couple weeks. I feel so guilty because I haven't been on Discord that much the past couple weeks. Running back and forth between the mod garage and here. I'm almost done at the mod garage. Come like end of July. I think end of July I'm pretty much done up at the mod garage working up there like part-time, and then that's when I'm cutting off engine builds. Not taking any more of them, so once I finish those ones, done with those. Tanner, I have a 2012 WRX hatch on a Cobb Stage 2 Plus. What radiator would you recommend, and what are your thoughts on those radiators with the built-in oil coolers? Awesome. If you can afford one, get a quality radiator with a built-in oil cooler. Don't cheap out and get like a cheap one. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of the brand that actually makes them, but I have installed a few of them. The oil cooler lines route nicely. It's nice not having something else stacked in front of the radiator also to reduce coolant temps even, or to increase coolant temps even more. When you start putting heat exchanger in front of heat exchanger in front of heat exchanger all up in front of the car, it takes its toll on the radiator, and your coolant temps do suffer a little bit. So getting one with an integrated oil cooler built into it, 100%. If you can afford it, do it. My phone died. Glad I caught the live. What up, my friend? Hey, just looking for advice whether to sell or keep my WRX 16. Bought for 10K, 100K miles. Drive fine until turbo blew. Then after replacing motor went out, just fully rebuilt motor with 5K. Honestly, if you just rebuilt the motor, keep it. Like, you just put 5K into a brand new motor. Go enjoy it. Go enjoy that new engine that you just put all this money into. Tanner, would you approve of spending 20K to overbuild my girl's 2013 STI to 400 wheel horsepower or budget cheaper? Honestly, I don't see the need to overbuild it for that. What year did you just say it was? 2013 STI. You could probably do 400 on the stock block. Probably a little bit risky. They've hit 500 on Unicorn. Be a little bit risky. I'll do it on E85. Do turbo E85. All exhaust, header, up pipe, down pipe, cap back, injectors, fuel pump, whole fuel system. I would say do it. 100% do it. No need to overbuild it though. Don't spend $20,000 on it. There's no need for that. Sai, I don't want to drive my mother to the airport to pick up a cat. So much gas is going, and it's going to be so hot. A cat. Did this cat fly first class? I'm very confused on it. With that though, Eric, I'll let you go. I'll let everyone go because we've been on here about an hour. I'm going to jump on editing the video that I started shooting today that I don't think I'm going to be able to finish today because I'm still waiting on parts to come in from FedEx. But I'm very excited that we got the turbo flange in for the EG33. I'm going to have to look into this whole YouTube live stream thing tonight also just to see what's going on there. But anyways, I appreciate all you guys swinging by the live streams. Appreciate the donuts tonight as always, you guys. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. If it's hot where you live, drink water, stay cool, don't overheat, don't melt, don't burn, anything like that. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies. Woo! Seeing that we do this awkward thing where we sit here because then I'm going to have to reach for the phone, hit the X button up there to end it. So, you know, we'll just do that. We'll just do that.